This conference will now be recorded.
Well, thank you all for joining us for today's video interview right after the 4th of July holiday in 2021. I am very excited to have with me Diane Wingerter, the Tradeshow Doctor, who's a speaker, author, and consultant. She's the author of Tradeshows, Expos, and More, your guide to healthy and profitable show results. It's a book she wrote back in 2015. She has more than 20 years producing, co-producing, exhibiting, and attending over 1,000 events throughout the United States. And also, and very important, she's been the recipient in 2016 of the Best of Dublin Award in the business services category. This is an award that honors her exceptional marketing success, which generates competitive advantages and long-term value for all of her clients. So, Diane, welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Great to be here.
Well, I'm very excited because today we're going to talk about one of Diane's latest projects, which, surprise, surprise, is a trade show that's coming up. And she'll give us all the details on that. But the one thing that I will say is I'm also very excited that it's a veteran-related activity. And I'm always very happy when we see activities that honor our veterans, that feature our veterans, because anything we can do for them is very well earned. So, Diane, could you tell us a little bit about the activity that's coming up, the dates, just why veterans? Just kind of give us, and that fits, of course, very well in with the 4th of July theme. But just tell us a little bit about the activity that's coming up.
Well, absolutely. So it is called the Ohio Expo, and it is the brainchild of a veteran. So Regina Rembert is U.S. Army retired, and she has a business called Buy Vet, which goes on year-round, where she really focuses on highlighting and promoting veteran-owned businesses. So she had the idea to actually turn it into a face-to-face expo. Obviously, once COVID is moving along, we're moving away from COVID. So the event itself is September the 9th, 2 days prior to Patriots Day. It's from 3 to 7 p.m., so it'll be a 4-hour event. And we are inviting everyone. So civilians are welcome to attend. Veterans are welcome to attend. Anyone that's obviously active military that might be around is welcome to attend. So the idea is to showcase veteran-owned businesses and to have the population think of veterans first. So the idea is if you need a plumber and you have the option of picking a non-veteran or a veteran to do the services that you need in your home, at least consider doing business with a veteran first. Give them that opportunity to maybe bid on the job or give you a proposal, that type of thing, so that you are giving them an opportunity to thrive in their new business. So they've served us, so it's time for us to utilize their services. Is the premise behind it. So like I said, Regina Rembrandt is retired Army and was connected to me through another veteran. And that's how we came to form this relationship. I'm the event consultant for the event. So she owns the show and will continue to own the show. But this is the first inaugural event. And the idea is to certainly do it year after year and have it grow to be a very large event and possibly even do 2 per year, just so we can hit some different pockets. So currently we are pulling exhibitors from throughout the Ohio, which we're excited about for this first year event. But there is a strong pocket of veterans in the Springfield, Dayton area. So we're seeing a calling over there. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't do, an event in that part of town or that part of Ohio, maybe in the spring of the year, and then do the one here in the fall. So that would be a good opportunity to have an event every 6 months that really highlights and promotes veterans.
Okay, perfect. And by the way, for everybody that's listening or watching, we're going to put all the links in the description to the video. But let me ask you a question, because I remember reading about this in the materials that you sent us, and I think it's related to COVID. But I know you have to buy your tickets in advance. You cannot show up and buy tickets at the door. So first, could you confirm that? And then Second of all, tell us a little bit about what the tickets cost, because I remember they're very affordable, and what the deadline is for buying tickets, most important, so nobody gets left out.
So tickets are $6 per person, and we're going to consider that per adult. I wouldn't say this is really a child's event. I mean, you know, there won't be a lot for them to do. So it is predominantly for adults, but anyone that's 12 and under would be free. So if for some reason someone does not have childcare and wants to bring their children with them, we're certainly not going to turn them away. But there's no fee for children that are 12 and under. 13 and up are considered adults, so it's $6 per person. And yes, we do ask that you buy your tickets online. There's a capacity to the number of people that physically will fit in the space. So we want to make sure that we don't exceed that capacity. So that's why all the sales are done online ahead of time. And as Sal mentioned, there will be a link, you know, where how you can buy tickets. So the ticket sales will go up to the event. We have an exhibitor deadline of July 29th as far as the first wave goes. So the exhibitors that sign up on or before July 29th will pay the early bird rate, which is very reasonable. It's $199 to exhibit. And then if you wait till the next day, it jumps up to $249. So why wouldn't you want to save $50 on the exhibit space? And again, it is a table. This is not a 10 by 10 booth. You're not getting 100 square feet. You're getting a tabletop exhibit, a 6-foot table. And the other nice thing about July 29th is that's the date of the exhibitor workshop. So I will be conducting a exhibitor success workshop on the evening of the 29th. And all the exhibitors that have signed up thus far will be able to send up to 3 of their company representatives to the workshop. So I don't recommend that someone would have more than 2 people at their table at any given time. But if you do have 3 representatives from your company, someone could be mixing and mingling in the room, maybe meeting some of the other exhibitors, that kind of thing, to be wise about your time. But 2 people at an exhibit table is quite ample in order not to have attendees, you know, shy away from your table where they might feel a little bit overwhelmed. So anyway, so I'm doing that exhibitor workshop so that it gives the exhibitors an opportunity to, you know, plan and really prepare for the event. So that is 6 weeks prior to the date of the event, because that's what you really need to have time to order all the materials that you need, from printed materials, maybe to a retractable banner, which is what I have behind me, you know, a table covering with your logo on it. I mean, there's some certain components of your exhibit table that you need, and this way it gives you plenty of time to get that taken care of. Because as you know, the longer you wait, the more you pay. So if you order all of these things the day before the event, you're paying expedited fees. There's a higher chance for typos. You know, all of those things can go wrong. So it's best to plan all that out ahead of time, have the checklist that I will provide, and you can just be smooth sailing and be prepared and have it stress-free.
Well, Diane, you know what? That actually sounds to me like you're getting a 2-for-1, quite honestly. And by that, I mean, on the one hand, you get the opportunity to exhibit to the vets, to the civilian population in general. But on the other hand, and maybe for people that haven't been exposed to being an exhibitor at a trade show before, it sounds like it's, quite honestly, a wonderful learning opportunity that then you can continue to do in other situations.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, the checklist is transferable. You just rinse and repeat, go through the same process every time. There's 25 items on the checklist to consider. And what I tell people is, like, it's good to make a decision like, no, I'm not going to do that, but at least you knew it was something you needed to make a decision about. So, you know, you certainly don't have to implement or do all 25 things on the checklist, but at least your awareness is the fact, okay, do we want pre-printed name badges? Are we going to do a logo, you know, a T-shirt instead? I mean, you just need to make those decisions and not wait, like I said, till you get there and go, oh man, we should have done this, we should have done that, we should have brought this. You want to eliminate those shoulda, woulda, couldas and know what you needed to have prepared in advance. So again, so it's smooth and seamless, and you enjoy the experience and the opportunity to engage with the attendees.
And I'm going to throw 2 out just based on my experience attending and doing some trade shows.
Sure.
Make sure you take plenty of business cards. and make sure you take something to attract people to your table, candy or something like that. I know a lot of people give, all kinds of stuff. I've seen candy works very well. Nobody turns away candy. So take candy and plenty of business cards. Just to again, understanding that we're going to put all the links in the description. Could you say again, just if I want to sign up for to exhibit, what is the absolute easiest way? Is it through your website, through a phone call, through an email? How do the easiest way for me to sign up to exhibit?
Would certainly be through our website. It is clear. It has a tab for exhibitors and one for sponsors. We do have 3 sponsorship levels, and we are limiting everything, and that's for the benefit of the exhibitor and the attendees. So if you go to an event and there's too many people that do the same thing, that's really a disservice to everyone. So number one, the exhibitors, if there's 8 financial advisors, I'll just use that as an example, they all feel a bit dismayed, that there's that much, let's say, competition in the room. So, that puts them, kind of changes their mindset, maybe from being up here, excited about being there. You can sense that they feel a little bit distraught about having that much competition in the room. Plus, the attendee will feel the impression when they would walk away and say, man, everybody there was a financial advisor. Again, those kind of generic blanket statements, even if there was 80 other exhibitors, if they found 8 that did the same thing, it would feel a bit overwhelming, that it didn't provide as much selection. So we are capping everything at 2 per category. So once we have 2 of something, then we are closing that category out, and we have closed out 2 categories thus far. So again, it gives a reason for a bit of sense of urgency that you don't want to be locked out of an opportunity by procrastinating and say, oh, I'll just keep waiting and keep waiting. So that's why the July 29th is that first deadline. Let's get you in. Let's reward you by being early bird with the workshop, as Sal mentioned. That does have a great value. Actually, when I go into a company and present that, it's $249. So it is a 2-for-1. So, you're getting that expertise that you can use forever and ever, down the road. So, so the easiest way is on the website. Just click on the tab that says exhibitor. You see all the categories listed. You can pay online. You can also just download the form and then send a check if you need to do a check or have a PO or something. We understand that every company is structured a bit differently. And if you want to call me up over the phone and give me your credit card information over the phone, I'm happy to take that. We really want to, meet you where you're comfortable. So, but it is online, secure, and you can certainly sign up online.
Okay, excellent. Well, it sounds like you got all the different avenues open and you're very flexible. Let me ask you 2 questions for the price of one.
Yep.
If I am a veteran that is looking for either a job or a business opportunity, maybe to get hired by a company or maybe to buy a business or start a franchise or something like that, are there going to be, and maybe I'm looking also for a transition into civilian life because maybe I'm getting ready to leave the military, whatever the case may be. In those situations, is there going to be something for those folks that are looking for that? And also, could you maybe just give us, so we get a flavor, a couple of the different categories that will be represented at the activity?
Sure. I'm going to actually reference my exhibitor list, because that would probably be easier so I don't misrepresent anyone. We've got HR and staffing. We actually have 2 companies that are in that space, so that category is full. We have a CPA that will be on site. We have 2 residential real estate companies, so that category is sold out. We have a nonprofit. We also have a junk removal and hauling company. It's awesome. It's called J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling, and that actually is a franchise model. So the gentleman there is the franchisee. He owns that particular model. But again, if as you were saying, he certainly could provide some information if that's something that an attendee would like more information about. He could certainly get them to the mothership, let's say, and have them find out more information on how to possibly, purchase a franchise for themselves. We have a cool company called Jumpstart Java, which is an on-site coffee provider, gourmet coffee. So they primarily work in the commercial space. So in your office, if you would want coffee, you could commission them to come in and replenish, all the supplies and the coffee and so forth. They actually will be supplying coffees for our exhibitors. You're going to have an exhibitor lounge, so they will have some coffee back in there. We have a financial advisor committed, and that's some of the highlights, let's say. We also just have a sponsor that came on board. We have 2 sponsors that just came on board. One is Kemba Financial. So again, they can provide all the different services that we all need for loans and houses and just CDs, all of your financial needs as far as an institution goes for that. And then also a company called ViaQuest, and they're in the healthcare space, and they are the largest veteran-owned business in the state of Ohio. So they employ around 600 employees in the state of Ohio, and I believe close to 1,700 employees nationwide in their business. So very excited that they are founded here and based here in Columbus, Ohio. And they just signed up for a sponsorship, so we were thrilled to have them. So it's a nice mix, as you can tell, of exhibitors thus far.
No, absolutely. And let me just maybe piggyback on that and say 2 things, maybe even for the veterans and the general population that's listening to us. One is, whether you're looking for a job, whether you're looking for a loan, whether you're looking for a financial plan or whatever the case, which is, a long-term relationship that you're going to establish over multiple conversations. I think there's no substitute for starting that with a face-to-face meeting, maybe at an expo like this. You go in, you meet them, they meet you, so that later when you email them, when you call them on the phone, now they know who you are, and that relationship can get started a lot better and a lot more seriously. Just because maybe you've had 10 minutes at a trade show to meet face to face. So I think that's really important. And the other thing, and there's lots of studies out there, but for people that are looking to do a business relationship or find an employer, whatever the case may be, it's been proven over and over and over that veterans tend to be great employees, very reliable, very knowledgeable. They bring all this experience from that, from their tours of duty or whatever they did in the military, and they can bring all that experience to bear on whatever job, whatever franchise, whatever business situation is that they're facing. So for people that are interested in establishing those relationships with those veterans, again, what a better way to do it than just walking around the expo, and you're going to meet a lot of them there.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. Great. Great.
Well, listen, we're going to try to keep this short and to the point, Diane. So before we close out, is there anything that I've missed? Anything that you want to mention before we disband, and then now just look forward to the activity?
One little perk for the exhibitors, the first 150 to arrive, not to register, to arrive will actually get a complimentary swag bag. So it'll be a very nice cloth bag, the type that you can use at a grocery, reusable. And we'll certainly have the logo of the event on it. So just a nice commemoration of the first inaugural event. And again, gives you something to put your goodies in as you do talk to the different exhibitors. But did want to highlight that it is for the first 150 that actually show up and arrive. And then obviously everybody will be registered. So we'll keep track of who's there.
Okay. Say the date. Oh, say the date and the location and maybe parking situation before we close out.
Yeah, so it's Thursday, September the 9th. The event is from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And it's at a really cool venue called the Wigwam Event Center. So it's snuggled back in the woods. So when you emerge from the woods, it's a rustic but yet beautiful event center. We're in a glass room. It overlooks some water. So just very peaceful and tranquil, and will create a nice setting, picturesque setting for the event. So a little bit nicer than a venue that's all concrete, concrete walls, concrete floor. And there is parking adjacent. There's actually 2 parking lots, one directly in front of the event, which would be for handicap. And then there's a little bit of a further parking lot, but still very accessible. And we're having the exhibitor workshop at the venue so that you can put your eyes on the prize and the exhibitors can get an idea of the layout. That's always very helpful to see where you're going and find it for the first time, versus the day of the event. So that was the purposeful reason why we have the exhibitor workshop directly at the location where the event is occurring.
Okay, perfect. Well, listen, we're going to close this out. Diane, thank you very much for coming in with us and sharing some of your information. Most importantly, if anybody's thinking of putting together another trade show and would like to work with Diane to make sure it's successful and it goes without a hitch, or is interested in just exhibiting or participating in a different trade show and would like some tips and tricks, you can obviously read her book, but also contact her directly, and she'll be more than happy to help you make your event or your booth as successful as possible. So again, thank you very much for joining us, and we wish you the greatest success. And thank you very much to all the veterans, and wish you the greatest success in the activity. And thank you for your service.
Well, thank you very much, Sal, for having me today. I'm not sure why my camera went off there for a minute, but it's back on now. It has a mind of its own.
Excellent.
So thank you so much. We look forward to seeing everyone at the first inaugural VET Ohio Expo on September the 9th.